It is Wednesday night. It's June 1st, 2022. Another brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast coming your way. I'm Tanner Lee. My co-host Paul Zartman's here in the middle of the screen, not wearing big gold over his shoulder this week. That's behind Austin Shepard, who was the big winner at Double or Nothing. Any response, Paul?
It's temporary.
I don't know, man. I'm surprised you showed up tonight the way you took that whooping. I mean, that was no finger poke of doom on Sunday night. That was a bloodbath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I almost wanted to call you the Brooklyn Brawler today. King of the Squad. Sorry, that's too much.
I will say, Paul, you took some chances. I told you the Anna J pick. It's going to be your downfall.
Yeah, it was.
But congratulations to Austin. It came down to the main event match. If Hangman would have retained, I would have won the championship. But the CM Punk era definitely has begun, as we saw tonight on Dynamite.
Yeah, the 1 point pick just had a little bit of a feeling they're going to give that guy a push towards the end of his career. Let's give him a year here. Yeah. The only reason I would have picked it, if he would have went up against somebody his age or younger or somebody up, the way AEW does and the upstart of the business, yeah, I like Hangman retaining, but for some reason I just think, look, Punk, his age, all right, they're going to give him a run. It was part of his deal. So here we go.
Summer of Punk Part 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that it is.
Before we get into recapping Dynamite tonight, what were your guys' overall impressions of Double or Nothing? What'd you like? What'd you didn't like? Match of the night for you guys?
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I love Double or Nothing from start to finish. I really didn't have too much to complain about it, apart from the fact that Anna Jay should have won. But we're not going to get into that right now. I was cheated. That's that. Yeah, moving on here. Yeah, match of the night, probably going to have to go with everybody's pick, and that was the Anarchy at the Arena.
That was so fun.
That was great.
I mean,
you couldn't keep up.
No, you couldn't.
No.
And I love the callback to New Jack with the music just playing and playing and playing. And Eddie Kingston, for a minute, I literally thought, I'm like, yeah, he's got to set Chris Jericho on fire. You never know with Eddie.
And I think he would have if it wasn't Brian Danielson. Yeah. He was going to do it.
I mean, we saw the ring get ripped apart. That was the best match of the night, in my opinion. But there was a lot of good ones. I did think for a while, I thought it was the weakest pay-per-view AEW has put on. But I think that's because of Game 7 of the NBA of the Eastern Conference Finals going on. Tony constructed it so it started off hot out of the gates and then finished real strong with 4 really good matches at the end.
Yeah, I saw that on the Kicking Out podcast Twitter, we actually retweeted a tweet that said, I don't know if anybody caught it, but Anarchy at the Arena started right as Game 7 ended, and it just took off from there.
Right. I mean, that match was good. Rosa Deeb was good. The triple threat tag team title match was really good, and then the main event, of course, was good. So, I mean, I thought the weakest match of the night was the one that made you mad, Paul, the TBS Championship. I just didn't think those two gelled in the ring compared to their first matchup on Rampage.
No, but hey, we got Athena out of it.
That's true. And, his name is escaping me right now. The manager of Jade, the brand new manager of Jade. I can't think of his name right now.
Publicist.
Yeah, publicist. And then the other match I was disappointed was the Bucks and the Hardys. I mean, Jeff Hardy's banged up. That's why he wasn't on Dynamite tonight. But you knew they weren't going to follow up the Ladder Wars match from 2017. But
yeah, the Bucks really carried him through that match.
Yeah.
They did.
Super kicks.
Oh, a lot. Yeah, there was a few cool super kick spots.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, if that's the worst pay-per-view AEW's put on or one of the worst, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm in the 6s on the rating overall, but again, I was entertained.
Yep.
Yeah, I went back and watched it, the last 4 or 5 matches. So, yeah.
In another good match was the House of Black and Death Triangle. That over-exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
We kind of knew she was going to come back, and Julia Hart was going to come back and do that. So,
long payoff there. We waited for a long time, but
we did,
it
but
was pretty
it
cool.
was worth it, I think.
Yeah, it was worth the wait. So,
and hopefully now we're done with that storyline completely with House of Black, Death Triangle. We'll move on and see what House of Black actually has.
Yeah, I think that's the direction they're going. Got to start pushing those guys. Trio titles, hopefully get in the picture sometime in the near future, and they can be a team that contends for those. So, but Dynamite tonight was from the LA Forum, the first California show AEW's done. This has been planned for a long time. Sold out really quickly when tickets went on sale, so you knew the crowd was going to be hot. Started off in a hot way. New AEW World Champion CM Punk comes out. Then his tag team partners FTR come out. Big pop for all those guys. And then Max Caster and the Gunn Club come out. Caster cuts a pretty good rap, like he always does. And what do you guys think of the Gunn Club's new interaction where they take the mic and say a nearby big city in the state, but get it wrong, and then Bowens finishes it off?
I mean, Foley did it.
That is true. But
I mean, Max Caster, awesome dude. Yeah. Thoroughly entertaining. The Ass Boys. I know they get mad when you say that. Obviously, they want you to say that. And then you got Billy Gunn pushing down the other guy, and I don't know. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm not turning the channel, so it worked for this segment. So
yep.
It's because everybody loves the Acclaimed.
I'm not going to disagree.
No, they're pretty great.
They're super entertaining for sure.
I mean, even if I don't watch Dark or Elevation, I have to go check out Caster's raps when he's on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're going to watch them on the next day on YouTube or whatever.
Yep. He's doing something right.
Yeah. And he made fun of the Johnny Depp Heard case today, which we all laughed for the last weeks. We've all laughed at it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Objection.
100%.
Hearsay.
Well played.
Austin's not actually the champ. It's just a picture up there.
Well, it's.
Oh no, I don't know how to Photoshop. I'm not good. Hey, by the way, look at this thing. Little Rochester glass action.
Nice.
Oh, very nice. Very fitting. Very fitting. This match was actually a really good opener. Caster and the Ass Boys really got a lot more offense than I thought they would. This match went a little longer than I thought it would, but in the end, Punk hit a big power bomb on Austin Gunn, which sent him into Billy Gunn. With then he gets nailed by the GTS straight into the big rig by FTR for the win. After the match, Punk says he's never done drugs, but he guesses this is what it feels like. He says he knows he needs to get better. This is what the title's about. He says his road to be here is littered with mistakes, and he'll keep learning from them. People can say positives or negatives, but they all call him champ. Hardwood then says the things Punk hasn't done. He has, and this is what it feels like. He puts over his wife and daughter who are in the crowd, and they're the only things that mean more to him than wrestling. He says when you attack him and Cash, it doesn't sit well. So he says if you're from a different company or the same company, sorry, Finley, bring your ass out of here and we will kick it. Punk says New Japan has some of the best wrestlers in the world. He says he knows the Forbidden Door is back there. He wants to know who he's got. And the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, makes his presence known. That's going to be a big one.
I'm excited. Take my money.
Yeah. I thought Tanahashi might go against Mox, but I'm not disappointed by this whatsoever.
Well, real quick, before we get into that, Mox being in that Blood and Guts match, which is 3 days after Forbidden Door, all of a sudden you take those guys that are in the Blood and Guts match, you kind of take them out of Forbidden Door before, like the storylines.
Yeah, you kind of do. That's a good point.
You take Jericho, the two big guys I think of, you take of Jericho and Mox. Now, even Kingston had some New Japan here in the last couple of weeks, but you take all those guys out of the storyline because 3 days later they have this big blood and guts match. Mm-hmm. So that one threw me for a curve for a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose they're thinking there as well. We got enough talent, we can build up the Forbidden Door, but we still got to build for our next huge Dynamite right after that.
Yeah,
but that's a good point. Maybe they still sprinkle some of those guys on there, but like you just said, that kind of messes with that storyline. So, yeah, interesting.
Unless somebody returns.
I mean, we're going to see more and more people pop up every week.
Yeah,
I thought we'd get more than one match booked tonight. So,
yeah,
the Bullet Club's coming soon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jay White's coming soon. In a minute. Yeah. So,
well, you got Finley and Hangman next week.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Well, and we saw the invasion last week during FTR's match, so they're coming. But we then got what I titled tonight's episode "Best Promo I Remember in a Long, Long Time." I don't care if it's a work, shoot, whatever. It was entertaining as hell. MJF, they gave him the mic, which I don't know about you guys, but I was surprised when that graphic came up this afternoon because I expected to see him wrote off TV for a little while.
Yeah. When that got shared to our little text group, I was like, really? This quick? I figured at least next week.
Taking 12 power bombs, taking off the stretcher with oxygen, even though the oxygen was clear up to his eyes. I thought, okay, they're writing him off for a little bit until they kind of figure everything out. But, supposedly there's sources saying that he and Tony met on Monday and something must got figured out if it didn't even before Monday because they gave him a mic and let him go.
Yeah.
And it was glorious. I mean, he just proves when he's on a roll, nobody can touch him on the mic.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's the best heel in the business when he gets going. I mean, he brought up WWE references, saying if Tony would treat him better if he was the next WWE guy. Says he's the only position Tony should have is behind the guardrail. Doesn't want to wait until 2024. He's begging Tony to fire him at the end. Calls him an effing mark, and then his microphone gets cut off and the entire stream gets cut off. Which, if you're watching on Fight, though, it was uncensored on there. I saw that on Twitter.
Ooh, okay.
So, a lot of entertaining stuff here. I mean, very passionate. This was definitely his version and AEW's version of the pipe bomb, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, what Austin? What's your take on the whole situation with MJF from over the weekend into tonight?
Going into tonight, I thought it's a work, right? And then the more the promo goes on, I'm like, okay, he's got me a little bit. He's got a little bit, and then they cut the mic off. Well, he said I think he said an F-bomb, and they bleeped it out.
Right.
And then they kept the bleep out. Like, they never brought it back after he said the F-bomb. And then the mic was out. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a work. I'm all of a sudden I'm hooked. So I still think behind the scenes, TK gave him the money, and we're going to ride it out as long as we can.
I think it started off as a shoot, and they've worked it into a work.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I always go back to is I don't think Tony Khan's the type of person that would have people spend money for a meet and greet and then purposely have MJF stand them up. That's the one piece of everything over the week, and I think was definitely a shoot.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I mean, the airplane stuff. I mean, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful and Fightful Selects, arguably the best in the game. I mean, he's one when he says something, I believe him because of his sources. He says he has confirmation that a ticket was bought for MJF for a red eye flight, and the ticket price was just stupid. It was like $2,000 or something. He doesn't know who bought it, but he said he's got confirmation that it was bought right before the meet and greet. I don't know.
Well, TK is smart enough to say, hey, look, all right, you got me. I'm not going to let you go anywhere else.
Right.
You got this much heat. You got this much following. I'll pay you, but let's continue this.
Right.
Let's string it out as much as we can. Let's sell, let's make some merch. He's gonna have a shirt coming out, I bet.
Yeah, I mean,
merch. Let's string this out for the next month or so, and then we'll just fade it away, and you're still part of the company. So
we had a comment here before we went on the air from Matthew on YouTube. He said, "Promo of the year, bro." Can't argue that.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good one.
Well, hold on. Before we get into the shoot work stuff, MJF is a hell of a promo.
Yeah.
He is. So whether he's working you or he's shooting you, the guy can get you hooked, and he's good.
Yes.
So throw all the other stuff we've just been talking about. The guy's a hell of a promo. So that guy, he's pretty close.
He's worth the dollar bills, in my opinion. I mean, if the reports are true that he's getting well underpaid of guys such as Mark Henry, Christian, some other guys who have come over from WWE. Yeah, he's been a pillar since day one of AEW, and he's put on great matches and great storylines all the way through. Probably deserves to get paid more, but I also understand Tony's side of it. Okay, I'm going to pay you more. Let's get some more years out of it, too.
But
like any sport.
I love the WWE reference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that was strong.
I think it was huge tonight that the Warner Bros. Executives were there because Tony pulled all the stops out tonight. I mean, he let the guy just go. So
those Warner guys, did they see that the new champion was behind my head?
If not, they will.
Yeah, they'll see it in when they rewatch this tomorrow.
Okay, all right, keep on going, Tanner.
But great promo tonight. I thought this show was awesome tonight, but that was my biggest takeaway. And it lit the Twitter world on fire. It lit the IWC on fire tonight because it's just like, God, like this guy is so good.
He's good.
It was so entertaining. I mean, I don't know, over the weekend, I'm like, okay, well, he just kissed his championship run goodbye for the foreseeable future. And then I watched tonight, I'm like, call me crazy. They still might put the strap on him by the end of 2022 or early 2023. I don't know.
How can you not?
I know. He's special. And that would put a bow tie on that Punk storyline, too. I mean, they have a rubber match they need to get in some point. So,
yeah, and maybe that's where we go with this from here is, MJF says, look, you want to keep me? I want a shot at the gold. I don't care who the champ is. I've beat Punk before. I'll do it again. Give me a shot at the gold or I'm out the door.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Wardlow's number one right now in the rankings. And, of course, he dominated MJF like he should have with how the story was set up. But MJF needs to be in a program where he can get a big win.
Hey, real quick, on the Wardlow thing, if he's number one now, but he was just all elite this week. So all the previous matches technically weren't all elite.
You're right.
Number one.
You're right. Yeah, his record down there is like 51-6 or whatever it is, 52-6. Yeah, technically that should be have an asterisk by it. You are right.
So I know it's all mixed together, but
you're right. You're not wrong.
They're trying to throw it over our heads.
I think a tweet to Tony Khan needs to be made about that. Yeah. Tony listens to the fans. So
yeah, have at it, Tanner. You call TK out on that one.
Okay. Hopefully I don't get blocked. But number 2 in the rankings, Adam Cole.
He's hurt.
But yeah, he's hurt, which we'll get into. There's a couple guys on the injury shelf. A lot of athletic tape around the shoulders tonight. Many guys going on.
Wonder why.
Then we got Johnny Elite, aka John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Impact.
Johnny insert company name.
Pretty much. I didn't even realize he picked up his first win in AEW on Dark over the weekend. I missed that until TK tweeted that out. So he was going against anybody from the back, and like I kind of speculated when I sent you guys CJ Perry's tweet today, the wife of Miro, that said she'd be tuning into Dynamite tonight for some reason. Miro finally makes his long-awaited return. First match since he lost the TNT title to Sammy Guevara back in November.
Yeah. And the dude looked great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he cuts a pretty good promo, all about God, really. He doesn't want to come home to his God. He wants to take his. Miro kicked out after Johnny Elite connected with the standing shooting star press. He attempted to move from the top rope, but Miro moved out of the way, hit a pump kick, locked in the game over submission, and it was game over for Johnny Elite.
Rope from Johnny kind of, I don't know, his foot still caught Miro and it wasn't supposed to, but I mean, Miro just rolled out of the way and sold it like nothing ever happened. But I mean, Miro being Miro, I'm sure he ended up saying something to him about make sure you hit the move right.
Yeah. I've never been the biggest Johnny Elite fan. I mean, his parkour stuff's pretty impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. He's been one I've never really enjoyed watching.
I haven't enjoyed him since Eminem. So there you go.
Pretty much. Yep. But it's nice to see Miro back. I hope they throw him in the TNT title picture because they need, I don't know. At least we know Sammy and Frankie can't challenge why Sky's got the title anymore. So yeah, that was something too. The other day, that match was interesting. We then get the JAS, who got the big win in the Anarchy in the Arena match over the Blackpool Combat Club. Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Angelo Parker starts it off and says they dominated the match, so the AEW Galaxy should appreciate them. Little knock to Roman Reigns, WWE Universe acknowledge me, which the crowd didn't really give it much attention.
No, they didn't.
But I love it, though. That's what they do. They're sports entertainers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Daddy Magic comes on. You can see the, I don't know, I couldn't tell if it's stitches or staples or what in the top of it, or just some marks on the top of his forehead because he got busted open pretty good on Sunday.
Forks will do that to you.
Yes. He adds that people will now know that they're the Princes of Pain because nobody does it better. Jericho says what the fans deserve is the winners of the match on Sunday, which is them. He says them winning the match wasn't without a price as he lists some of the injuries, points out that Kingston tried to set him on fire, points out that when sports entertainers face pro wrestlers, sports entertainers always win. Kingston then appeared, said he'll fight them all right now, and then he tells William Regal to let them know where he wants to fight them. Regal yells blood and guts, just like he yells War Games. It was good, but I thought whenever he would eventually say it would have more impact. It kind of didn't deliver as I thought it would. Did you guys kind of catch that too?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the way Eddie set him up for it didn't work out the best. I think it would have been better if, there would have been a little more from Eddie. Eddie's great on the mic, and tonight he just didn't deliver.
They probably should have had Regal in the back, and then he'd come out with a microphone and say blood and guts, not just kind of stand there and look like you wanted to fight and then say blood and guts. I don't know. It just didn't.
It's William Regal. He always wants to fight.
I know, but
Eddie always he dressed up for the occasion tonight.
He had the DiMaggio jersey on. Yeah.
Come on. A Yankee shirt and some basketball shorts.
I mean, look at him Sunday. He had a Yankee shirt on, white, of course, with just blood all over it. I mean, it was classic Eddie Kingston. It was fantastic.
Hey, can he be a Mets fan? Screw the Yankees.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Austin. That's about the first time we've agreed tonight.
Yes.
Fair enough. I'll take the heat for that one tonight. I should have worn a Yankees hat. Maybe next time. No. But Jericho said they're not getting blood and guts. Then the faction jumps Kingston, but as Jericho turns around, Ortiz has the sock. I forget what they call it, and he nails him right in the head. Then he cuts off some of Jericho's hair. That's enough to get the blood and guts match. Jericho says they've got it, but he wants something as well. He wants to shave Ortiz bald. He wants him in a hair versus hair match, and that's going to take place at Road Rager on July 15th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get this before blood and guts, not after. The way Jericho made it sound.
Yeah. or June 15th.
June 15th.
July.
June 15th.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it would be before.
Because you got Blood and Guts on the 29th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So
I
we
thought
got
it said
some
July.
big shows coming up.
Which sucks because it takes Jericho and those guys out of Forbidden Door.
Right, yeah. Like we were talking about earlier.
We were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it does. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that during the show, and now you're making a really good point. That does suck. But
hey, good point. Right here.
Yeah, that's why you got the title above your head.
Hey, Paul. Hey, see that guy right there?
Give him another give him another point.
Sorry.
Oh, Paul pulled a Jeff Hardy. He's off the screen. He's gone.
Yes.
He's gone. 25 more minutes than I thought it would take. So
sorry, Paul.
Difference is I come back.
fair enough.
No, but
Yeah,
like
the graphic is July 15th.
I'm pretty sure it needs to be June 15th, though. That'd be in.
I agree
weeks.
with you, but
So they must have messed. I wouldn't put past the graphics team to mess it up. It wouldn't be the first time.
kind of like Excalibur.
Yep. So we then got a video package showing Samoa Joe being attacked after Double or Nothing by Jay Lethal and his group of Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh. Just keeping the ROH storyline going, I guess.
am I the only guy that hates that Satnam Singh guy?
No.
Okay. He thought.
You know, I remember him. I mean, when AEW signed him, I was reading about him. I'm like, yeah, I remember him playing in New Mexico State because Indiana played New Mexico State. I think it was in the 2012 NCAA tournament. And that's the first time I had seen him. I'm like,
When
this
I
guy's
fan,
huge.
though, I remember the old South Buck.
Yeah, he couldn't move very well, but Wednesday, June 15th. There you go.
All right.
That's in St. Louis.
Yes.
That's not road rage.
That's what
Yeah,
the graphic
I'm really
said tonight,
confused.
so now I'm confused, but we'll keep
I
we'll
am
keep
too
it
because July 13th is a Wednesday. So they've got something all messed up.
I don't know. Well, then we got a tag match that was changed from the original match. We got Red Dragon and Hiku Leo in the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, Darby Allin, and Matt Hardy. Adam Cole and Jeff Hardy were both supposed to be part of this match, but they're both banged up with injuries after Double or Nothing. So they're getting some extra rest. Pretty good match here. I was actually surprised by the result.
Yeah, I
Red
was
Dragon,
too.
Akilio, and the Young Bucks came out on top.
I mean, I was, but I wasn't because they're in California and it's the Young Bucks.
Right, but like I was mentioning, the Young Bucks got a huge pop. As Austin mentioned, Hardy's arguably got a bigger pop right after.
But you didn't have Jeff involved, so
Right.
I get it. Look at Kyle O'Reilly. All that tape on his shoulder.
That was a ton.
Yeah, but if we go back 2 weeks the pay-per-view and the week before, he had those suction circles. I don't know what you call them.
Right. They they get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
Kenny does that too, Omega. Yeah.
Let's just call it. It's a hickey.
They're disgusting looking what it is.
It's a medical hickey.
He had a bunch of those, and then today he comes out with all that tape all over it. So obviously that dude's fighting a shoulder injury.
Right.
But he still went 100%. I like it.
Yeah, and his match with Darby, they did a good job too on Sunday for a match that had no build really whatsoever.
Darby's not going to make it to 30.
No way.
No.
I was listening to the latest episode of Talk is Jericho today, and he had Matt and Jeff on. And this was recorded a couple weeks ago after the crazy match between Darby and Jeff. And Darby, after the match, told Jeff, "Oh, what a rush. That was crazy." And Jeff goes to Matt and goes, "I remember what it was like to be in my late 20s.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, Darby, you better watch yourself or you're not going to make it to.
Some of the dives Darby does, it's just stupid.
I thought he knocked himself out on Sunday with that suicide dive because he landed on his head.
And didn't move for a couple seconds.
No, that because I've always talked about him and Ray Phoenix, like who can shoot themselves into the fifth row of the crowd, or who can shoot themselves into the crowd further than the other one. But Darby, man, this guy's insane. so good, but he's insane. But good match. Ended up with Jungle Boy got caught with his one of his own as Matt dropped him with a high-low after he tried to get involved, and the Bucks hit the Meltzer driver for the win. So
very entertaining match, though.
So
very entertaining.
So FTR is the number one contenders, and they definitely have made it known they want the tag titles. I see the Hardys are up there in the top 5. I was surprised Jurassic Express retained. That helped Austin become the new KOP Predictions Champion.
I think you see FTR go for some New Japan stuff down the road, and then AEW kind of takes a back seat for a while.
Maybe I could get on board with this, even though it's nostalgia. They're obviously building for the Hardys to at least make a run at the titles. What if they unseat Jurassic Express, but hold on to the titles for like 2 months, and then FTR takes it off of them? Because I think we need a dream match between those two too, even though their styles are completely different.
I really think we see FTR hold every belt except AEW right now.
Okay.
I mean, I'm giving Paul a little bit of a spoiler going in Forbidden Door.
A
little bit, but I really think we see FTR hold everything but AEW because they're going to be billed as the best tag team of all time, which I can't debate right now. Yeah. Dax Harwood could be my favorite wrestler, period, in the last 5 years.
I love what he said after the meet and greet the other day. He said, if I knew all it took for these fans to like us so much was being a babyface and how fun this would be, I would have done it years ago.
You know what, Don? I don't think you can give him the babyface.
No, they haven't changed.
He's just real.
Yeah.
He's freaking real.
Yeah.
Like that promo tonight, that's from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you not give that guy, okay, he's from the heart. You're going to say, oh, he's a good guy. But no, he'll still beat your ass if you had to.
And did you guys read that SI article about CM Punk by chance that came out before Double or Nothing? Well, one interesting part was Dax and Punk are both big coffee guys and they love Starbucks.
Yeah.
And they happened to meet up at Starbucks without even planning it. And they were sitting down and Punk's like, what do you got going tonight on Dynamite? Hardwood's like, I don't know. Punk goes, you're gonna face me tonight. And we're gonna tear the building down. Hardwood's like, okay, whatever. Punk went and talked to TK. Hour or two later, he sends Dax a text. Goes, we're on. And then they tore the house down.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's pretty cool.
I mean, right now, if you're not a Dax Harwood fan, you're not a pro wrestling fan.
You're not a good person.
No.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far.
I will.
I'm just saying you're not a pro wrestling fan. Because that dude right now has us all hooked.
That's true. And I do like the comment that TK said about the Briscoes. He said that pretty much that they're ROH legends, and he hopes to see them sometime soon. So
they've been awful quiet on social media.
They have
5 days. I know they're the Impact champions, and I love them, but they've been awful quiet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And to build off of what Shep said regarding the FTR title runs, I think, yes, we need to see them get everything else, all the other gold, no AEW, but they face the Hardys, who are still claiming to be, the best tag team. And it's the best tag team versus the best tag team, gold on the line, like ROH and AEW tag titles, winner takes both. And FTR picks up the win that way.
I'd get on board with that.
Yeah.
At a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They still should have been on Sunday. That was criminal that they weren't. I don't know how they let that happen in the build up to it, but whatever. After the tag team match, this was interesting. Matt showed to show some respect to Jungle Boy, but Christian Cage gets in the middle and pushes Matt away from his guys.
Well,
I'm telling you, it's coming.
You've been saying this for 6 months.
I know. I'm like, it's coming, but I can see it, but they're not pulling the trigger on it.
But I felt like this was awkward.
It was.
Yeah.
It was awkward. Like, Christian pulled him out, let him go back, pulled him out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just awkward.
And Jungle Boy's whole "I'm sorry" as he was getting out of the ring and walking up with the camera on him. He's just, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Okay, we get it. Let's do this now. But it's going to be like the Julia Hart thing. It's going to happen in 6 months.
Right. And maybe they'll swerve us with how they do it too. Maybe it's not who we think will turn on who. So
maybe they both turn on Luchasaurus.
You never know. I think
I'm okay with that.
I think they need a split. I mean, Jungle Boy doesn't need him anymore.
I don't think Jungle Boy needs Christian. So
no, I think he's good. I mean, his mic skills have really improved over the last year. He's ready to go.
I love the Jungle Boy for the TBS title.
TNT.
All right, TB.
Yeah, I mean, if he win against Jade, that'd be pretty entertaining. But
we can't go that far yet.
Yeah. We then saw Swerve and Keith Lee backstage. Swerve introduced a bunch of his friends. Keith Lee says whether it's tagging for the gold or singles competition, they can swerve in their glory pretty much. I might have not got that word for word, but yeah. They put on a good match on Sunday. Like I said, that triple threat was awesome with them and Team Taz and Jurassic Express.
I was ready for him to win, and I don't think them winning the tag titles would have helped me retain my title, but I just wanted to see him win.
You were way down there. I mean, it was, yeah.
I got cheated.
I mean,
if
you lost by single digits, I could give you that, but
no,
I mean, when Austin and I score in the 50s and you like 36,
I had.
Did you get 40? Did you end up getting 40?
I broke 40 because of Punk winning.
All right.
You just didn't update the scores.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't. I just said Austin won. So
the Brooklyn Brawler's still calling you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's still taking bookings. Then we see Tony Schiavone on the ramp like he is every week, introducing a new addition to AEW, Athena, which I'm really excited to see her in the company. She comes out, starts cutting a promo, then Jade comes out and interrupts her. And she introduces Stokely Hathaway. There it is. There's the name I was forgetting earlier. Stokely says, I'm not too familiar with him. I know he previously worked in WWE, but a lot of people on Twitter rave about him, say how great he is. So I'm willing to give him some time.
Based off of the TBS Championship match, he did something with Anna Jay at some point.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. When he popped up on TV Sunday, I'm like, who is this guy? And I could tell JR didn't know who he was. Because did you hear the comment? JR's like, said something like, I still know who he is, or something like that. It's like, oh my God. Like something
Excalibur
only JR
knew.
can get away with. Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, Mark Sterling is way better than this Stokely guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Tisk, shame. It'll
be interesting if Sterling's even with Jade anymore. I mean, we kind of saw him still representing MJF tonight in the Wardlow story.
Yeah.
So
biggest swerve of them all, Jade's in the Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle's dead. Dead and buried.
Gone.
They're still listed whoever of the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
On the roster, so.
Holly Blanchard's still alive.
He's in ROH somewhere, which, there you go. This is pretty much setting up a 3-on-3 with Athena, Anna Jane, Chris Statlander versus Kiera Hogan, Jade Cargill, and Red Velvet. Couldn't think of her name.
It's a good song, though.
Yeah, I couldn't think of her name. I'm here reading my notes. I'm like, it's not my notes. It's a way to get all six ladies into a story for a little bit. I'm fine with it.
You know, though, Athena and Jade could be a hell of a match. Athena is a worker.
Yeah,
Jade could keep up with her. I mean, we could, that could be a show for sure.
Absolutely. I think it's finally a contender that I could get on board with dethroning Jade. But if I held the pencil, I still wouldn't have her lose it to like early 2023 to like Revolution.
But who you got between now and Revolution that could step up and do that?
That's the problem. I don't know if you have anybody.
Well,
no.
Okay. Say nobody comes free from the Forbidden Door.
Right.
You got everybody in the company now. Man, Athena Athena right now is one of the top. You're not gonna have a Britt come down because she's already been world title. Thunder's not coming down.
Nope.
World title.
Maybe Statlander.
Maybe, but
that's maybe stretching it. The crowd would love it, but that's
Yeah. And sorry, you're not gonna have any of Kenny Omega girls.
No.
They're out there. So
I mean that's kind of the corner they've backed themselves in right now.
Yeah. So, don't get me wrong. I think the women's division is getting very, very strong.
I do too.
I like it, but when you go to that TBS title, a little bit different.
Right, because I mean, the moment they take that strap off of Jade, she's going to the big title. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
She's not in the ring though, guys.
I know. Hopefully they'll wait till she is ready, but I don't know how long it's going to take.
I mean, so far she's done a great job. Don't get me wrong.
She's getting a lot better.
I'm not knocking on her.
Right.
But for her to put on a 30-minute match with Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, boy, we ain't gonna like it.
No.
We're gonna complain about it.
Sure.
See, here's how I think this should happen. We work up towards All Out, where it'll be Athena versus Jade. In the meantime, Jade picks up her other 18 wins, gets that 50-0 record, and then we start fudging it like Goldberg. And next thing we know, she's 200. And then Athena beats her, and because Jade got to that 50 mark or whatever number she's at, and then lost, we see Jade crumble, take time off to find herself, improve her ring skills, come back first part of 2023, and immediately start working her way up for the women's title.
You got a point, Paul.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Actually, you do. Because if you're going to take the TBS title off of her, you got to give her a break before she comes back.
And that's the thing. I'll hold that thought.
You're right, but
yeah. Pointing up to the title for everybody that's not watching on video. And Paul pulls a Hardy again, and he leaves over the rope, over the barricade, into the crowd. Paul goes.
He gone.
Wardlow's first official match as a member of the AEW roster was against JD Drake, and Wardlow squashed him like we all saw coming. Powerbomb Symphony, which just gets more over and over every week. He also hit a big lariat in this match. After the match, Mark Sterling comes out, hits Wardlow with a lawsuit for the security that he's been beaten up, but he responds by grabbing one of the security members and powerbombing him as the rest of the security and Mark ran to the back. So short, sweet, good.
You know who else has dominated JD Drake?
Who's that?
Leva Bates.
It's true.
Everybody has dominated JD Drake. I mean, a lot of potential, but he's just not a character that is interesting.
He's there for a reason. I mean, he's getting his check signed just to put talent over. So,
yeah, I'll take that check.
Could be worse. But where do you guys think Wardlow goes from here?
Wherever Wardlow wants.
I mean, is he too big to be in the TNT title picture?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so too.
This guy's got a rocket up his you know what.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could have the big gold around his waist sometime next year.
But I think with Forbidden Door coming up, you're going to have guys like Wardlow pushed to the back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we got a big pay-per-view coming up that doesn't include all the All Elite guys.
Right.
And then we'll after Forbidden Door, we're going to filter back and do All Elite guys. So, yeah. Again, to me, he was 1-0 as All Elite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hear me out on this. You guys say he's too big for the TNT. Miro comes back, gets the TNT. Miro, Wardlow, TNT Championship.
That would be fun.
I don't see those guys put on a good match, though.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
They're two powerhouses. I don't see it.
Hey,
Yeah.
the good thing is every time Wardlow steps into the ring, he doesn't immediately go for a choke slam, so we're good.
It's true. But yeah, I don't know. Man, the roster's so stacked when I'm trying to think of who could challenge who for the titles.
I mean, cars Sky and Miro. I
Yeah.
think really good match.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just glad Sammy and Frankie. No offense to Frankie, he hadn't challenged it too many times, and I think Sammy's a great talent. I was just tired of seeing him win it every other week.
Yeah, Frankie's in Impact. He got buried last week or so.
Right.
And then Sammy, he's down in Brazil.
They're on a vacation again.
Making vlogs and his girlfriend wearing no bikinis or whatever.
I mean, good for him. But yeah.
Hey, by the way, Ty Conti's taller than Sammy Guevara, right?
I think so. I think it's pretty close.
She's taller than him.
I don't know.
What'd you guys? And I know we're a little off topic. What'd you guys think about Paige Van Zandt's debut the other night?
At least she learned wrestling moves before she made her debut.
Yeah.
She's getting trained by Gangrel, which that was neat to see him on Rampage on Friday.
I thought she was better than most debuts coming from a different discipline into pro wrestling. I thought she did very well.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, and she's still very green, but she's got a lot of potential.
She does. I think the AEW women's talent roster, if they play it right for the next 12 months, could be epic.
Oh, I think you're right. I mean, the talent's there. It's just they got to be booked right.
Yeah.
And given a chance. So
I still think we need an all-women show, at least like once every 6 months or something.
You know what though? You're right, because you have enough females now.
Yeah.
To do that. Absolutely.
And I mean, and some of these females, I mean, they put on very entertaining matches. I mean, Thunder Rosa Deeb was fantastic on Sunday.
It was a great match.
The build was awful, but the match itself was awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's because Deeb sucks on the mic.
Right.
Thunder Rosa's okay on the mic.
Right.
But in the ring, they both performed, and it was a good match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just go on the other side, they weren't that great. But
right.
Yeah. No. They have enough talent to do an all-women show.
Yeah.
It could be good.
Yeah. I mean, we saw WWE do one, a network special or whatever. Maybe they did two of them a couple of years ago, and it went over pretty good. So,
yeah.
We then got the lone women's match of the night, tag team match, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. We saw Toni Storm and Ruby Soho pick up the win as Ruby Soho hit a big kick, and then the Destination Unknown for the win, getting the pin on Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly entertaining match. I've always been a fan of Ruby since she debuted in another company on their lower tier, mainly because of that Indiana connection. I mean, she lives like 45 minutes away from us to begin with.
They list her from Lafayette, but she actually lives up in
South Bend.
Yeah, technically from I thought it was the region area technically, but Northwest Indiana. But the reason she lists herself from Lafayette is that's where she trained.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, WWE didn't really use her the way they could have or should have. They put her immediately into the Riot Squad, and she didn't really get showcased a whole lot. We're finally getting to see that.
I still think she should have been the Owen Hart women's winner.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin and I were in agreement last week. There's no way the couple wins both, right? Well, they did.
Right? None of us thought that. The only reason I went Statlander is because I still want that I can't win the big one storyline.
Yeah. Well, and Ruby came out, to Rancid, which was awesome on Sunday night, and she had the jacket that said time for a change. I'm like, okay, she's not losing this match.
Right.
Then they swerved us.
And she came in last.
Yeah. she still can't win the big one over Britt, but maybe she eventually gets it. And I was going to make a point earlier, and then I saved it for this segment. Paul was talking about kind of what he thinks they need to do with Jade. I'm getting Britt Baker fatigue, to be honest. I wish they would take her off TV for a month or two, then bring her back.
3 or 4.
Or even 3 or 4, even though AEW never seems to do that unless it's a legit injury. But
we didn't see what they did with Thunder tonight. So
yeah,
next week or two, what we see with Thunder depends on what they do with her. So
yeah, I just think, I mean, she's a great talent. I mean, you got to have her go for the title again already.
She has taken no time off since she debuted.
Right.
Yeah.
Apart from a legit injury for a few months.
In which they still kept her on TV, which made her bigger because she was catching fire then, and that was smart of them to do. But, I mean, this time they should just give her a break for a little bit and then bring her back. And I think the crowd would get invested because I don't think I'm the only one getting Britt Baker fatigue.
No. The crowd doesn't seem to pop as loud, and the DMDs not as loud.
They weren't feeling that win on Sunday.
No, they were not.
So, but that was still cool. A cool presentation by Dr. Martha Hart. It was cool to see them get the belts, and the belts look great. Like Shep said tonight in our text message, they got that classic old school tag team feel to them.
I'm ready for the replicas to be out so we can buy them.
I'm sure they'll be pretty pricey.
I'm sure.
I mean, the only replica belt they've put out's pretty pricey. So. But yeah, I mean, Austin's got a pretty nice belt above his head there.
Is that a replica?
I'm trying to think of other wrestlers here in my head instead of Jeff Hardy that I could throw in there towards Paul. I'll think of some more. But
he's back. He's back.
He's back. He's coming back.
It's because
he's
for those who
more than
watched
Jeff Jarrett in the 1990s.
Oh, ouch! That one hurt. No, I'm making gestures towards you guys that the camera doesn't need to see.
Fair enough. We then got the main event of the night. This is a rematch from a couple months back. Daniel Garcia versus Jon Moxley. Fun match that actually did a little overrun tonight.
Yeah.
TBS let them have an overrun for once, just by about 2 or 3 minutes. But we saw Jon Moxley get busted open big time in this match, which I loved. And he ends up picking up the win after hitting a paradigm shift and then choking out Garcia with a bulldog choke. That's after Chris Jericho got involved and Kingston got involved, which Kingston was running so fast, he about pulled a Titus O'Neil and about went under the stage.
Well, that dude's
under the ring.
Slick.
Under the ring, yeah, a little slick. Yeah, he was running like DiMaggio down there.
So before we get into this, I read a Dirt Sheet article earlier in the week that before Regal got out of NXT, he wanted to bring Yuta and Garcia in. And
there was one more too.
Was there one more?
Yeah, there was 3. Yuta, Garcia. Yeah, go ahead. There was another one.
Probably Rip Ryerson. That was the first.
Yeah. Okay. Junior, not senior.
But I thought it interesting with Regal on commentary tonight. He really kind of put over Garcia.
He did.
So I find that interesting. But the back screen, like he wanted Yuta and Garcia in NXT before he decided to leave NXT or was asked to leave NXT. So tonight we get like kind of full circle. So you got a guy like Moxley going to put him over because that's the way he wanted to be.
No, yeah.
So, I love watching Daniel Garcia wrestle.
Yeah,
he's getting better and better. I mean, he's one they better keep under contract because I could see the WWE throwing him some pretty good money in a few years.
Well, he was already
probably do it now
for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was a good way to end the show. Definitely, Moxley then said if they want blood and guts, he sign him up. So So I presume it's going to be the same format as last time, 5-on-5. We're going to get the same guys that were in Anarchy in the arena match, I presume.
Maybe.
And I did like the fact when JAS came out earlier in the night, they didn't have Garcia with them. I did like that small detail.
Yes. It was a nice little, he's all backstage preparing type thing without. I
still don't know where Santana was tonight.
Yeah, he was nowhere.
Yeah, he must have something.
That flop off of the ladder probably took him out.
He loves those ladder spots.
I know, but he looked a little funky when he landed.
Oh, I think they were all hurting pretty well after that match. They all took some crazy bumps and stuff, and it was interesting. Jericho was on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast a week or so ago, and they were talking about the first Stadium Stampede match, and he was talking about the upcoming Anarchy in the Arena match, and they were asking, like, how do you prepare for, like, the spots you're going to do? He said, well, you get there early, you go around the stadium when it's empty, and you kind of just start looking at things and picking things out that you want to use. Yeah, it's pretty interesting psychology that goes behind those things. So some of it's kind of on the fly, other of it's like others, most of it's, I mean, of course, planned out what they're going to do. So, yeah. But good show tonight. I thought the first half, especially, I think the first half of the show was my favorite first half of Dynamite of the year.
It was a pretty good first half.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, and second half was, I mean, wasn't awful, but I mean, the first half for me had Punk FTR lead off. Then you had the promo from MJF, and then you had the Jericho.
Wardlow.
No, Wardlow second half.
Oh yeah, he was.
And then the Jericho stuff, third. It was good because I was kind of with you, Shep. Like the Anarchy and Arena match was great, but I was like, okay, where they could go from here? Well, they bought a ticket with me to watch. With the hair versus hair, blood and guts, etc.
Yeah, none of us were invested in this storyline until tonight.
Pretty much. Well, we knew we were getting a rematch when JAS went over.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
But
should have picked them.
I almost did. And I talked myself out of it because I'm like, nah,
so did I.
I'm overthinking this. But that's why I don't have the belt. That's why Austin does. He doesn't overthink things. Goes with his gut. But it's only fitting for Austin to beat me by 2 for the belt. I beat him by 1 on the golf course last week.
Oh, here we go.
So he got the revenge on me. Because he did tell me that was the last win I was going to get last week, and he didn't lie. So
well, the difference is I can sandbag on the golf course.
That's a good point. Good point.
So Tanner, what you're saying is Shep's kind of Paul Heyman. He's giving you spoilers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a compliment.
Yeah. Hey, Heyman's one of the best.
I know. I'm complimenting you. Be surprised.
Yeah.
There's lots of them you'll get.
If you call me Paul Heyman, that's a compliment. He's an evil genius.
Yeah, you called him Heyman. He called you Brooklyn Brawler. I mean, come on, man.
I'm being nice for a minute.
I mean, the reason I called you Brooklyn Brawler is you got squashed.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was.
Yeah, well, I had some other things going on last week that had my attention more. So.
Well, you get all month now to get locked in for Forbidden Door. So.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Because if you don't get it back, then it's a long time to All Out.
I'll make it clear. Even though I thought I was going to be on vacation, Paul, I'll put it up on the line.
Yep.
Forbidden Door, me versus you. Let's do it.
All right. No Tanner. He doesn't get to even try.
Well, I mean, he's going to get his butt kicked in Golf League this week, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Austin, you beat him this week. He gets a shot at the triple threat.
Ooh, I tell you what, if you beat me this week in Golf League, Tanner,
oh man,
we'll do a triple threat.
All right, that's fair.
If not, it's me versus Paul.
That's fair. I'll take a backseat to All Out if not. So I like that. I like that. Fair enough. Gives me something to play for tomorrow. So
yeah, tomorrow. Here we go.
Yeah. Show rating tonight and wrestler of the night for you guys.
Shep, have at it.
All right. I'm going to go with a 7.4.
Okay.
I love the first segment, second segment of the show with MJF. The end was a little weak, but overall, great show. Entertained. I never turned the channel. 7.4.
Paul?
Oh, all right. You know what? I'm going to go 7.6.
Not a Ricky score. I like it, Paul.
Yeah, Don't want to do that 8. Don't want to do 7.99 either. But yeah, for the same reasons with Shep, there's a lot of good stuff, but started kind of fading out towards the end there.
Well, I hyped up the first half so much, saying it was my favorite first half of Dynamite of the year. I'm going 8-1. I really enjoyed the first half. I mean, the opening match was fun. It was better than I thought it was going to be, just because I thought it was going to be shorter with Caster and the Ass Boys on the other side. But the MJF promo, like I said, that's the best promo I've seen in years. It's just so intriguing too. I mean, he's been the pro wrestling talk of the world since Saturday, since the meet and greet went down, or didn't go down, I should say. And then for it to transpire like this, it's got to get busted open talking tomorrow. It's going to get all the podcasts like ours talking tomorrow. And then second half, I kind of agree. I mean, there was good stuff. I mean, I enjoyed the Wardlow stuff. I enjoyed the main event. Women's match was all right, but it was kind of starting to fade a little bit. So. Wrestler of the night. Austin's the champ.
You go first.
Austin's the champ. He gets to go first.
Ooh.
You go last, Paul, because you got squashed.
Okay.
Hey, I'm a mark. Dax Harwood. Just his performance in the first match was okay. You know, he was involved with that promo at the end. He's my boy. I'm going to take a shot of tequila for him tonight. Dax Harwood.
I like it. I would say MJF, but I never go with somebody who just cuts a promo. I always go with somebody who competed in the match. I'm going to go Punk. Wins his first. I mean, it was a trios match, but his first match as the AEW World Champion, and I'm ready to see what he can do as the champion. I think he can take the company to the next level.
Well, I'm going MJF. The promo.
Gave you a layup there.
I mean, I was hoping nobody else would, because I really didn't want to agree with anybody. But the moment that promo ended, I was like, all right, I don't care. There's my wrestler of the night.
Yep. He's if he hasn't got paid a lot of money already, he's going to.
Absolutely.
In the near future, whether it be AEW or come 2024, if his contract's up, WWE or whoever it might be, he's going to get paid a lot of money.
So if it wasn't a work, he threw out the WWE a couple times tonight.
Right.
Which is, I know if you're a WWE employee, that's like, you're not going to talk.
That's a no-no. Yeah,
it's a no-no. So for him to throw that out multiple times just makes me think like Tony Khan was okay with it.
Absolutely, I agree. And he said, he threw a shit bomb out there 3 times, I think. I remember when they were on TNT at first, you got like 1 per week. Now it's like a ton. They don't care. No, they would have cut off his mic when he was taking jabs at people. So no,
New
I
Japan,
think
WWE.
I still think it was originally, at least part of it was a shoot, and now it's been worked into a part of the storyline, which is brilliant because he is the worker of all workers right now in pro wrestling. So that's why, I mean, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful's even said you got to be careful when you're reporting on MJF because you got to make sure you're not getting worked.
Yeah, no, I think at the start he was upset. I think TK realized it. Now there's like, okay, I'm going to give you the money, but let's play it along. Let's get some people hooked. Let's sell some tickets. Hey, down the road, let's sell some merch. You know, let's make a T-shirt about it, probably.
Yeah.
So
here's one more thought before we hit end on this recording. I mean, the crowd was behind MJF tonight, at least at the end. I mean, they were chanting MJF. Could we see this prolong eventually to him taking the title off Punk in a double turn? Or
can we see this MJF versus TK, aka Stone Cold versus McMahon?
That, and you know that I did see somebody on Twitter. They didn't put it in those words, which I like yours better. They said, "Is this leading to Tony versus MJF?"
Yeah, I mean
somehow.
Yeah, I got some really stone coldy vibes from him tonight in that promo, which then turned into the Punk pipe bomb promo for me.
I mean, I suppose they could still write him off TV. They could come up with some sort of suspension storyline base for a couple weeks to get him off TV. But
well, after Forbidden Door, if you don't have a guy like Omega coming back,
right?
Okay, you're gonna need a guy like Punk or MJF because Punk's not gonna survive. As much as I like the guy, he's not gonna fight. We're over a rematch maybe with Hangman, but he's gonna need new blood.
Yeah.
So,
I'm interested to see what happens with Hangman too going forward. There's a lot of guys that weren't on tonight that I'm interested to see what they're going to do because, I mean, we do have another huge event this month, a pay-per-view, and then big Dynamites after that, and then All Out in September, which we still don't know where it's at. I'm assuming they'll announce that at Forbidden Door. But I would think if it's Chicago, they would have already announced that.
They were talking United Center, though.
And that's where Forbidden Door is. So you're going to back-to-back big shows.
Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah. And I know Tony's been on record saying he wants to do something Wrigley Field.
Ooh.
I don't know, though.
I mean, I'm going to retain on Forbidden Door. So, Paul, you have a chance again in Chicago at Wrigley Field.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Not where the Guardians play. Cleveland Progressive Field, I think, last time I knew. I don't know. They've
it's
renamed it a million
field.
times. Oh, is it still Progressive Field?
It's Progressive Field.
Well, okay.
The Tribe won tonight, so we're good.
The Guardians.
The Tribe.
Cleveland.
Hey, if you get a group of Guardians together, they're called a tribe, so they're the Tribe.
All right, I'll give you that. I mean, you scored 40 points Sunday, so I'll give you that, brawler. Any other final thoughts before Paul puts a wrap on this thing?
All right, real quick, guys. Appreciate you having me. Appreciate the belt up there, Paul. I appreciate it. Love the start of Dynamite tonight. It was a great transition from the pay-per-view. So let's just see where it goes, and appreciate you having me.
Yep, we'll see you in a couple weeks. If not a couple weeks, we'll if you retain, we'll see you.
Hey, Tanner, as long as you don't have some girlfriend issues and you got to go do all this other stuff.
Hey,
Paul, you got other business things you got going on. I'm always available. I'm like the super sub.
Hey,
I'm a super sub champion.
Super sub that's a champion.
Ooh, it is.
Yeah. Paul,
Find it.
Paul, you know, I will say this, and I'm going to bury myself by saying this, but it is pretty bad when the side plates have our names on it. Austin's name's not even on it, and the title's in this house.
Yeah, I know. That's because when I purchased said belt, I didn't know Shep was going to be a part of this, and then you kind of sprung it on me that Shep wants a shot at the title, and I went, crap.
Yep.
Hey, email me the guy's name, Paul. I'll get me a side plate made.
Undisputed Belts. I'm
right.
serious. Go to undisputedbelts.com. That's where I bought that thing. They've got all sorts of different designs, and they do great work, as you can see. I mean, they told me it'd be a week before it shipped out, and it shipped out the next day.
No free ads, Paul.
Well, I mean, they did make our belt for us, so
I was kidding there, but
and it was reasonable price too.
I know it looks good. Looks good. I just wish I had it on my backdrop, but I gotta do better.
Yeah, I mean, new belt, and 2 people have held it, and you haven't, Tanner. So I mean,
it's part of my storyline.
Oh, is that it?
Are you Cody?
Storyline.
Are you Cody?
The Roadster.
They took it away from my dad at the Garden. Okay.
So you're jumping ship, is what I'm hearing. So this is going to be a Year and Eyes podcast, Jeff, because apparently Tanner's leaving us for another title.
Nice neck tattoo.
The old Corvette sign is not leaving the top of the Corvette sign.
That does look pretty good up there.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, it will at Forbidden Door. Don't worry.
Oh.
You better study your New Japan, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to put a lot of work into New Japan.
3 weeks of New Japan last week, and I'm still confused because I don't know what the hell they're saying.
No,
You know what? I will give New Japan this. They have some amazing sex dolls that wrestle. Look up Kenny Omega.
I know
I'm
what you're
serious.
talking about, but I didn't see this.
It is a great match.
Okay, yeah. And then you guys get mad when I call him Jazz Hands.
Yeah. I just want
I
Kenny
don't
back
get
on
mad.
TV. That's all I want.
Kenny Omega.
Hey, the guy can work. I don't give a shoot about his fetishes on the side.
No. Yeah. Give me good product in the ring.
Yeah. But all right. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for this episode of the Kicking Out Podcast. Be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod, and check out our merch store while you're at it. The links, there's 2 of them, are in the description of all of our social media, so you can click there and support a great podcast and apparently a new champion for a couple of weeks, because it's coming back home where it belongs at Forbidden Door, so don't you worry about that. Tanner, you're never going to hold the Kicking Out Podcast championship. It's going to go back and forth between Shep and I.
You've never technically won it. You're pretty much like Eric Bischoff gave it to Triple H when they brought the World Heavyweight title back.
You say that. So I don't mean to cut Paul on this. We're cutting off or whatever. We got time though.
We got.
But wait a minute. So Tanner says he never lost it. So how did you ever win it, Paul?
I won the old title at a pay-per-view, and then I defended it successfully at the following pay-per-view. And then I decided, you know what? We needed an upgrade. So I upgraded us.
Oh.
And then retained it and then lost it to you.
Okay, fair enough. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not lying, so I can't. Yeah.
I just upgraded. I'm not like Bischoff getting it or H getting it from Bischoff. I just upgraded us, like when Cena made the spinner belts.
Bischoff's an asshole.
Sorry. He's an idiot. He is just, I like his podcast, 83 Weeks, but jeez. Tony put him in his place the other night like he needed to.
He did. And then, I mean, I sent you guys that link of old TK. He got fired up.
Which I liked. I mean, he's showing passion for his company and his guy.
He is. I mean,
he's something.
Every bit of 145 pounds and 5'3". So I love that. But talking about the old Bischoff, Conrad, like Conrad's got some of these podcasts.
Oh my God. Keeps adding them.
Who cares about his mortgage lending business?
He's the podfather for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
I listened to this last one with Ric Flair, and I'm a huge Ric Flair fan, thick and thin. I don't care. Early days, mid days, late days, past his prime days. I'm a diehard Ric Flair fan. And his last podcast with Ric Flair, I mean, that stuff was emotional. It was good stuff, so check it out.
Well, that's father-in-law, son-in-law, too, right there. So
that's true.
Conrad's Rick's son-in-law, so, I mean, they start off as friends, and then he met one of Flair's daughters.
Yeah.
I get yelled at for, undisputed belts, and Austin gets to just cut a whole promo on another podcast and get away with it.
Yeah.
And I've never met Conrad a day in my life.
No. I'd love to meet the guy. It'd be cool. I mean, he's the podfather, and like I said, he keeps adding great podcasts to his network. So
I would like to meet him if he wants to have a drink.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
If he doesn't drink, screw his ass.
Oh, I think he does. Down in Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my bucket lists is to sit there and have a beer with Ric Flair.
Yeah, that is mine too.
Have a beer with Ric Flair. Cool.
I mean, so you're definitely ordering Flair's match on Fight because it's Flair and it's your boy.
It's sold out. It's sold out. Yeah.
I just hope he gets through the match.
I do too.
I think you will.
I really do.
Actually, I really do. I think you will.
Yeah.
I really hope that rumor of Hogan being the surprise opponent's not true. That would be awful. He can't take a bump with his back.
Hogan's got 2 hips and a knee from Biomet in Warsaw, Indiana.
He might have a back too.
Shep making plugs again.
It's all right.
Sorry.
They're local plugs. They're local plugs all out.
Hey, I know the pilot that flew the hit down to him.
Hey, while you're at it, Paul, before we get off then, make a local plug.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do a lot of local plugs. Be sure to come out to the Manitou Moose Family Fun Center, 1107 here in Rochester on June 18th as the FWF, Functified Wrestling Federation, will be hosting their first ever show there. Austin's going to put 200 chairs out for us. And, apparently I've been told that the KOP title will make a debut there since it will not have been defended by then.
It's a really good chance it'll be there.
Yeah.
It's
going to be one of those things. If Shep's there, it's there.
It's a really good chance Paul / his dad, Chris Brown, ends up in Lake Manitou.
That would be great.
I mean,
I swear.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Hey, if I end up in the lake, it's okay. It'll cool me down a little bit. Have you seen what I wear to the ring? Exactly. Just let me take the jacket off first.
Hey, I mean, at least we're not picking on Tanner.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
We don't have a cruiserweight division in FWF.
That's why. Oh, see, if he ever wins it again, we'll have to make him like, the little Rey Mysterio, the little man who won the world heavyweight.
Ray's a legend, so I'll take that. You could have.
see,
Paul, you just missed it. You could have called me Spike Dudley. You could have called me Shannon Moore. You could have called me.
I said if you ever win it.
You could have called me Hornswoggle. I mean, you just blew it. You called me Ray, so I'll take it.
No, I said if you ever win it.
I'll get it.
Hey,
no, you won't.
Coming.
Hey, easy Spike.
Oh.
That's already been used on Paul, but now he's upgraded to Brooklyn Brawler, so he's working his way up.
All right, I'll just have to call Dick the Bruiser Jr. then.
You are the king of the squash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, boys, I appreciate it.
Yes,
it was
fun.
Yep, and we
go ahead and wrap it up, Paul.
I forgot where I was at the wrap up. Jeez, thanks, Shep. Be sure to follow Kicking Out Podcast on all social media. Buy some Kicking Out Podcast merchandise, which Shep has some now hanging behind him there, unfortunately, but only for a little while. Then he'll have to buy a shirt or a coffee mug or something. And be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on that Apple podcast, if that happens to be where you listen to the Kicking Out podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to all of our social medias so you know when we release a new podcast episode. And be sure to follow Tanner Lee on all social media at TannerLee92. Follow myself at Paul Zartman 921 and this guy who claims to be a champion at the Shep 27. And with that, for Austin Shepard and Tanner Lee, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.